Hello, I'm Otto, and welcome to episode 18 of my Factorio Post-Nauvis guide. So in the last episode, we set up some logistics, an area for creating our new logistics, which you can see is getting nice and full. And we also set up some rockets over here, just kind of something, initial and early. We will end up expanding this as time goes on. So off screen, I ended up setting up some miners over here and down here. That way we wouldn't, you've seen this a million times. Hello. Yep, never make a mistake on this channel ever, right? Anyways, as I was setting this up, I kind of realized, I'm like, wait a minute, why don't I have any lubricant over here? And realized I was having a supply problem. And I'm like, wait, why am I having a supply problem? I should be using at least a decent amount of petroleum gas and light oil. And turns out, whenever I set these rockets up, I never actually set them up to bring anything in. So we're going to do that real quick. I believe I did set the blueprint up properly though, so that should not be an issue. And we're just going to do 10 of each. And rocket fuel, we'll do 10. Okay, so that should get my science moving again. It has been stagnant, and I thought it was the ship, but it was not. It was my supply to the rockets. Anyways, now that that's taken care of, so in this episode, obviously, I have set up some mining. I generally prefer to do things on screen. I don't like doing things off screen like this because I like to kind of show my work, but in this case, you've seen mining setups before. This one was a little bit frustrating because of all the different oil. I have situations where there's like single openings or oil, lava. There's like single openings of lava, oh, this was just, it was a bit of a nightmare. I probably should have showed it on camera, but you know what? It is what it is. This is also not going to fill up 2 full belts. So having this one come in is definitely a good idea. We are not, I think even between this and what we're going to be creating here, it's still not enough to completely fill up what we need or might need. Anyways, we need to set up some tungsten steel, some tungsten plate. We're going to do that here. We're also going to try to set up a build next door for our new rank 3 speed modules. So to kind of cut down on the time, we are going to use part of this. We're not going to use all of this because we have one belt in and one belt in and one belt out. Whereas over here, we're going to need 2 belts in and 2 belts out. So we cannot fit 5 in here. We are also going to have, looks like a pipeline extent problem with our molten iron, which we will need for this build. So we will need to extend that at some point. We are going to copy this, at least part of it. I'm going to take 4 of these. Something like this, and we are definitely going to get the pipes or all of the stuff in correctly this time. Actually, I can just rotate it. It actually will line up perfectly. Sure, something like that. Okay. We will have these go through. Oh yes, we now have green belts. Do output priority left, that way these can continue to go through. Why is that? There we go. Let's see. That is sorry, that is lubricant, so we will get this one in down here. And like I said, at some point, there it is. The pipeline extent problem. So it's saying that we need a break here. And that is fine. We can take some pumps. I don't know how much we have going through, but it's not that much, so we're just going to do something like this. Give that some power. Another thing that I didn't think about was... Excuse me. That is connected. Not good enough, I see. That's fine, we can move it back here. That should work. But another thing that I didn't quite think about was we should be collecting some of this stuff, not a lot, and we don't need much, we just need a little bit, just in case we have something that we want to make with our gears and iron plate. With our, for instance, parameterized blueprints, we want the bots to have access to this kind of stuff. I don't know what else we didn't do that with. Maybe green... Did we do that with green circuits? Yeah, green circuits are good. We can change those to the red. Plastic we definitely don't need. Plastic we only needed for LDS and red circuits. Red circuits are good. We do not have blue circuits. Oof. We can put a little bit higher of a limit on this one. Maybe not that high. Let's just go with 3 stacks. If we wanted to like really ramp up blue circuit production, we could. We would probably have separate dedicated builds if we wanted to, say, for instance, export blue circuits from Volcanus. Oh, okay, so this is already kind of going. That was fast. Let's... I do not need this to continue on. That is fine there. Well, this was a bit easier than I was expecting, kind of. In my blueprint book, I do have a section for upgrading from red to blue belts and downgrading from blue to red. Okay. Downgrading to red completely, upgrading to blue completely. So I'm going to do the same thing here. We only need to, like, we really only need to change it from blue to green, so we can do that. Just to get some of these roll. Oh. Just to get some of this stuff rolling. Especially this build here. Okay, so everybody's making. we are going to increase this because if we, let's say, priority output right, a lot of this will be pushed to the right. And we want to try to make sure that we can consume the majority of this. So let's just keep going. We will copy a large portion of this, maybe the front side. Something like that. Maybe do a couple. Sure. If we find that this is too far, like if we're consuming all of the material by like this belt, then we can just cut all this off. Not a big deal. Or if you just really wanted to do the math, you would take a look at your miners and say, okay, 1.25 per second per machine. Figure out how many machines you have here. That's 31. This was 37. So that's 68. 68 times 1.25 is 85. These will consume 1.6 per. So 85 divided by 1.6 gives us 53. So as long as we have 53, then we will be consuming everything here. And we have 48. All right, so we need to go one more. How about that? I thought that would be too much. And that will give us everything that we need. Let's take a look at our molten iron. Molten iron is still fine. Looks like our downside will be the lubricant. We are not collecting any rocket fuel or LDS. Okay. So we can fix that too. Where is the nearest? None of these reach over here, that's fine. Tell you what, these can be a little bit more open if we're using those for rocket parts. Especially since we're bringing these in. So I think the wizard, yeah, the wizard was bringing some of this stuff in. 600 and 900, I guess we need to be more than that. So now we're using our light oil and petroleum gas. Or at least the reserves. I think I might want to lower some of our combinators too, at least on this planet. Maybe not, like certainly not on Nauvis, but I definitely want to, oh, maybe not that one. Okay, actually that's fine. We will increase these, let's say 30,000 and 40,000. That way we have a little bit more of a buffer on the light oil before the heavy oil really kicks in. That's better. Yeah, not sending out the rockets really kind of hurts. Alright, so speed modules. This is a... Oh, I should have taken a screenshot. This is an interesting build. Okay, so what all do we need? So for rank 3, we obviously need some rank 2s. For rank 2s, we need rank 1s. And for rank 1s, we need circuits. So we're going to need lots of circuits. We're going to need green circuits, red circuits for rank 1, red circuits and blue circuits with the rank 1s for rank 2, and then red circuits and blue circuits with tungsten carbide plus the rank 2s for rank 3. Ultimately, each one of these machines will produce 0.02 per second, so not a lot. So there's a couple of things that I want to do here. One, I want to try to more or less ratio these out, and I want to kind of have all this in one build. So the way that we're going to do that is we are going to have to try to set up a section that is 8 wide and that allows 4 items to come in. So I need to shift this over. So those items, green circuits, red, blue, and tungsten carbide. They can all just kind of come in. It doesn't really matter how they get here. We might end up having to shift this in some, but let's get the build going and then we can figure it out after. So we need rank 1s initially. They will need green circuits and red circuits, so they will need to come in here. The rank 1s will feed into rank 2s. And then we will have the red circuits and the blue circuits coming in underground. And they will feed in like this and be allowed to enter from this line. The rank 1s will feed into the rank 2s. Actually, I think we will have more room if we bump this back some. And yes, I'm going to remember to fix the inserters this time. And this will be our rank 3s. So we need 0.08 of the rank 2s. This produces 0.04. So what we're going to end up doing is we are just going to have the other side be fed into the rank 3s. So this is more or less what our build is going to look like, and we're going to have a fun time getting all of this in here, I promise. Okay, so I don't even want to have anything in here. We're just going to move these back. I want to have as much room as possible. We are going to have to figure out what we want or how we want to get this in. In general, I think if we line these up here, it might be something we can do. Okay, so red is going to come in here, blue is going to come in here, or wow, green is going to come in here. Red will branch off and jump over the greens. The green circuits will wrap around. The tungsten carbide will be allowed to jump over. So, and then the blue will be allowed to jump over. Okay, so this is green coming in here, continuing on, splitting being the top lane here. Red comes in this way, splits here, connects to this line, and will be the bottom side. It will be allowed to continue on through this underground, so now we have all 4 items moving forward. This one is going to be a little bit more tricky because we don't have a lot of space, so every single inch is going to end up being used here. So for this one, we need red and we need blue. So if we had... Actually, one of these might even have to jump over. let's say this will be, let's say this is going to be the blue line. And then the red line will come in through here. So red jumps here, continues on. Nope. We're actually going to have this do some funny stuff to get in here. And then blue comes in through here, splits here and goes on the bottom side, and then continues on here. Green can just go. The tungsten carbide can just go ahead and hop all of this. So now we have all 4 up here. So let's just double check. Tungsten carbide comes through, hops over everything. Blue comes in, hops over here, splits here on the bottom line to get to our rank 2s, and then goes underground here. Red comes through, splits to the right on the bottom line, hops over, splits to the top line here, continues on. Green comes through, splits here, goes to the top line here, and then continues on. Okay, so far so good. So this one will be tungsten carbide. So let's just go ahead and assume that we can have tungsten carbide come in here, and then it will be allowed to go underneath each of these. And then let's assume that it's going to continue on. Like, if this was the only thing that we were building, the tungsten carbide would not even need to do this. It could just come here and it's done. I like to make sure that just in case we ever want to double up on this, we can. So that's why we are splitting this here. Okay, so we also need, so that's tungsten carbide. And again, we're going to allow it to continue on. Wait a minute. This needed to be here, I believe, because we have a power pole that's going to end up going here. Yep. Our power poles will end up looking something like this. So let's just keep those in the way. That way we can kind of gauge what kind of room we need. So now we need red circuits and we need blue circuits. So this is blue here. Red will be here. Blue will continue on this way. Red will come back. Green will continue on. So this is tungsten carbide that will be allowed to hop over at somewhere. I'm not even going to worry about putting that down. We'll track this after. This was blue circuits. It will be allowed to hop over. This one will also need. Oof. Is there anything that I can do to pull this back? Yes. No. Maybe like that. That didn't really pull it back though, did it? Okay, so anyways, this will have to try to feed in like this, I suppose. So this is blue circuit. I know this is super confusing, but it is what it is. We're trying to squeeze 4 belts worth of things in here. So this is blue circuits. It comes in, gets split off here. It then keeps going. Red circuits get split off here, come back and wrap around. They continue on. This would be tungsten carbide, and green circuits continue on here. Okay. This might need to jump farther. Actually, both of these might need to jump farther, so let's just hold off on those. Oh, that just... Okay, that's fine. Ooh, alright. Man, that was rough. Let's, again, let's double check all this to make sure that it is all going to line up before we start mixing all of this stuff together. Okay. Tungsten carbide comes in, hops here, gets split, goes in its own lane, continues on, splits up here, and continues on there. Blue circuits come in, underground to here, split, go on the bottom side, continue under, split here, go on the bottom side, continues under here, splits here, goes on the bottom side, and then hops over everything else there. Red circuits come in, splits here, goes on the bottom of this line, continues on, splits here, goes on the top side of this line, continues on, splits and goes to the top here, splits and goes to the top here, splits and go... We actually, like, we're going to probably need more red circuits, let's be honest. Splits, goes on the bottom here, and continues on. Green is easy. Green comes in here, splits and goes into the top, continues straight on. And then green splits and goes to the top over here and continues on. So if we were to double this up, we would definitely not be able to match this up. And what I mean by that is... Let's not get the robo port. Okay, or I guess it would line up. But we're not going to worry about that. Okay, let's finish getting these items in. So that is this continued on. We will need inserters for each of these. Now, we will need to make sure that we can get these out. So we're going to have that happen here. Right in the middle. Man, that is quite the build. Everything has power. Everything is working out. We need one last thing. So because of how quote unquote expensive these are. Now, saying expensive is funny. Like, I used to refer to things being cheap or expensive to my wife all the time, and she was always like, there's no currency. Like, what do you mean expensive? And at the end of the day, the expensiveness is either rarity or how long it takes you to get something. Like, as an example, if you have to make 10,000 of something for every legendary item, a legendary is pretty expensive, both in time and materials, and this is definitely one of those kind of expensive items. So the earlier we get quality going for it, the better. So we're going to take some quality and just go ahead and start the process. We will then collect on this side with a yellow chest. We're only going to do one. Nah, yeah, sure, why not? We are going to circuit limit this. Make sure to filter for speed modules rank 3. We are going to need a ton of these over the course of the rest of the playthrough. well, you don't have to use modules, but it's going to be a lot better if you're using these, especially in areas like Fulgora, where you have a very, very limited space, and Aquilo, where space is also very valuable because of how long it takes to create areas that you can just build on. We will get to that later. So we are going to enable if speed module 3 is less than, we're going to start on the high end and go with 300. And we also need to be careful about this because like I've said before, so 300 is 6 stacks, so that would be up to here. The rest of this will very slowly start to fill with quality items that are being crafted. Also, because we have quality in this, it's actually not going to be a perfect ratio, so these are perfect ratioed into this one. These two would normally be a perfect ratio into this one, but because we have quality, it's actually going to, where is it? It's going to reduce our crafting speed by 20%. We don't actually want to put any modules in them because if you look at the bottom, it increases our crafting speed by 50%, but it also reduces the quality output by 2.5%. So what we have in here now is 8% quality. Yes, 8% chance of quality. And this would be reduced to 5.5%, or sorry, not even, because the one quality module would have to be removed. So we would have, say, 6%, and then minus 2.5% would bring us down to 3.5% for quality. The alternative is that we put a beacon down, which we do in fact have room for. And maybe, say, put one of these in. Just a single. Actually, even a rank 1 would be better. A single rank 1 quality module to offset the cost, which would make the ratio return, and then reduce us to 7%, which isn't nearly as bad. We're not going to be doing that. So yeah, and that's going to be our build. Now we just need to connect it, which is the fun part because all of our items over here are a little inverted, and did I put that right in the way? Oh, go me. Okay. I am definitely going to shift these upwards. That was a complete accident. I had no intention of having those line up like that. Make sure I didn't just catch a bot. Okay. We kind of already know what this might look like. We will do something similar that we've done in the past with having things kind of cross over. So I don't know, how am I going to make this work? That will be blue. Red will not line up for us, sadly. Green is, yeah, let's just assume that green is going to come back here and scoot in this way. That's the rough part of Factorio, is trying to figure out how you're going to nicely put all this together, but sometimes it's just not possible. It is what it is. Trust me, you get over it. But let's make sure that everything is coming through. Where's my reds? Greens are on the top and the bottom. Reds are everywhere. Blues are here, here, and here. Yep. These have a crafting time of 1 minute. Well, minus or plus an extra 20%. 0.01 per second now. Nice. Come on, I just want to see you guys are crafting. And this is why we probably need to double up on this guy. Again, without the RoboPort. Oh, come on. And horizontal flip. That is the wrong thing. I love it when things just work out so good. Okay, we're gonna upgrade this too. Now we don't need to, but you know what? We're here. Might as well. I've already started putting green stuff in there, so might as well just go ahead and upgrade it. We have lots. We have a whole chest of that. I think it might be time to just start doing parts of the base. Let's see. What can benefit from having stuff come in faster? These. Yep, and I think that's about it. Oh, these could definitely use a little bit of love too. Wow, we are still backing up on that. I think we might have to use concrete. Oh. That probably would have helped. The amount of times that I do that, even in the very first guide that I made, it was just like, I had so many belts that were just completely backwards. It was pretty frustrating having to go back and, I mean, not that there were any mistakes ever on this channel, but, you know, in the rare case that it does happen. Anyways. Okay, so that is going to be it for me for this episode. I have mixed feelings about doing things off camera, because the initial reasoning behind doing it on camera, or like intentionally doing it on camera, was that I wanted to make sure that you knew that whatever frustrations that you have to deal with, like clearing trees early in the game, or, you know, you have to like, made this blueprint and now you got to go fill it out, or you got to shift a build over by one tile. I wanted to make sure, like, you know that I am definitely doing that. I'm not like, we're not playing in editor mode. We're not cheating through this. Whatever frustrations you have, I also have. But sometimes there's only so many times where, like, there's only so many times you can show someone setting up a mine before it's like, okay. So in the next episode, I will probably have completed a lot of setting up resources. We are going to maybe tap some more tungsten, either this one and or this one up here. Nah, that one looks a little rough. I might uncover some more up in this direction to see what kind of options we have here, because I know that there is some open area here. I'm going to tap some of this calcite, some of this sulfuric acid and coal. And in the next episode, we are going to Fulgora. Yes, it is finally time to get off this planet. We've been in this guide, or in this section of the guide, the Post-Nauvis guide, for 18 episodes now. It is definitely time to get off of here. And I am super excited to go to Fulgora. I have some ideas that I've never tried before, and yeah, we're gonna get through that one. So that can be a frustrating experience for new players as well. Actually, fun fact, my first playthrough, I was like, you know what? I'm going to Fulgora first. I just loved the idea of the scrap and the ancient civilization that no longer was there. Spoilers. No, I'm just kidding. You guys probably know by now for sure. Game's been out for well over half a year now. Anyways, that is going to be it for me for this episode. Oof. Come on. I will see you in the next episode, and thanks for watching.